This is a video comparing the Soloshot to the Pivo Silver. The Soloshot works using GPS satellites, therefore clear days are the best. I tried this on an overcast day, so sometimes my Soloshot did lose tracking. I do find sunny days, blue skies, an area that's open to the skies works best. Total setup probably runs a minute to 2 minutes depending on how long it takes to calibrate the sensor that you wear. The Pivo setup maybe takes a minute at max. You just need to open up your cell phone and select the right settings. We used AI, frenzy, speed. We turned off predictive following. We felt that it made the Pivo lose the rider a lot, and auto zoom. Throughout this video, I did a side-by-side of the Pivo and the Soloshot. I tried to sync them up so you could see where the horse is in the field of vision, saturation, zoom, etc. Here is what a normal person would look like if my screen was just showing the Pivo. However, the split screen is taking off a little left and right of this image, but this is where you would be centered with the Pivo. This is where you would be centered in the Soloshot in the field of vision. One thing I will mention is if you get too close to the Soloshot, sometimes it starts to lose you. I'm not sure if that has to do with the sensor getting too close to the head unit. I apologize in advance for my horse at times being a little spicy and my sloppy looking riding outfit of the day. I had this idea for a video and I just wanted to get it done because I had so many people asking me about each camera. You will notice that my horse gets kind of spooked here. He's spooked because the horses in the paddock next to the ring came running over. However, you do see that the Pivo picks up these horses while the Soloshot does keep tracking me. Even though I'm out of the field of vision in this shot, I am actually in the camera's field of view. To get the camera back on me, you see that I walked over to the general area where the Pivo lost me. So I am able to grab some motion in the corner of the Pivo's field of view, and it does eventually grab me and start following me again. I do wonder what the Pivo would do if you had a lot going on in the background or were riding with other horses. You're going to see here again that the Pivo caught sight of the horses in the paddock next to me and chose to stay on the horses in the paddock for approximately 2 minutes before it found me riding again. I did try and go close to the camera, however, it didn't pick up right away. Here, my Soloshot lost track of me. It is a cloudy day. I do recommend blue sky day with a clear vision to the space, but I was lost for a little bit, and then the Soloshot did find me again. Everyone wants to know how they both do jumping. Here is the Pivo as I jump through a gymnastic. Here is the Soloshot as I jump through a gymnastic. Normally it does find me better in the beginning, but again, I feel like all of these cameras work a fraction of the time. Next, I thought I would show you the stills that you can grab from these videos. Here is a still of the Soloshot using just iMovie. Here is a still from the Pivo Silver using iMovie again. You see again here that the Pivo Silver picked up on the horses next to the ring. This seems to continuously be a problem. It does also pick up an instructor walking around on the inside of the ring. So that's something to be mindful of as you're setting up your Pivo and thinking about where you want it to record you. You can see that the Pivo stayed on the horses for quite some time, which can be frustrating at times. Next, I grabbed stills of the jumping from the actual file. So here's the Pivo and then the Soloshot using the full screen on my MacBook. I borrowed the Pivo to make this video, but I have watched it be used a few times. One thing I will mention is that when you get far away from the Pivo, the tracker stops working until you are large enough for the sensor to track motion. So here's an example of my Soloshot in our schooling cross-country field, and I'm actually pretty far away from the camera, and you can see that it's still zooming in and doing a great job of following me. So I would give the Soloshot credit for this. So which one would I choose? You know, I don't know. I also have seen the Pixio working. I own a Soloshot. I borrowed the Pivo to make this video. You know, they all work 2/3 of the time flawlessly, and you're frustrated at the 1/3 of the time it doesn't work. So at the end of the day, it's just a matter of how much you want to spend. There's features of each one that I love, and I've been equally disappointed by both. You know, the Pivo is a lot cheaper and nicer on the wallet than the Soloshot. I am hopefully getting an indoor accessory for my Soloshot and can test that out in the near future.